Yeah, it's a great day in America, great day in West Hollywood too, at times 3. And we're back at Marco's Italian Restaurant on Santa Monica Boulevard.
Now we're outside. Yesterday we were inside.
Yeah, we're trying out the inside bistro, but they kicked us out again.
2 days ago we were up the block too. Now this is a moving show.
I had the oatmeal today. The oatmeal was totally nourishing.
Totally nourishing.
And also I enjoyed your cartoon. What's her last name?
Paula Deen.
Jack Wallace, look at this.
Hey, Jack Wallace is walking by.
Never tell what stars like be walking up the street.
Hey, Jack.
Mr. Wallace, welcome.
Hey, how are you? What are you guys doing here?
Jack,
come and join the conversation.
I asked for a retell of that story you told me.
Come on.
Jack, about your father. I love that story about your father. When you wanted to go out to the bar. No, tell them.
I brought him over. Let me say hello to him. Welcome.
Let's say hello to Jack Wallace. He's our...
You put him right to work.
Well, because it's gold.
There's a union here that would fine us.
Family is gold. There's so many people, you have so much information about family. People said, I love to hear about people's families.
Explain to him what conversation is. How does conversation
We're talking to each other.
It's a friendly way of connecting with other people.
Okay, I'm sorry.
On different points.
Have a little love in your heart. Remember to honor the incarnation?
Yeah, but we've talked about not talking to people that like to...
You don't want to talk to Jack about his family?
Okay. Hello, Jack.
Hey, how you doing today?
Excellent.
About his family.
Got a wonderful day today.
I was very suspicious of people's family.
I love that story. Family is gold. Love. Honor the incarnation. We should always honor the incarnation.
Honor the incarnation.
Or the DNA.
Either one.
Yeah.
When I was a couple of years old, my dad got TB. He was a coal miner, and in a place called Kingston Mines. And when he got up, when he would have an operation, they call him the Man of Steel. He had a big article in Post or Look magazine, and he had tons of operations and whatnot. He had one lung taken out and everything like that. But when he had the lung taken out, they would go in and take out the ribs so they could work, And what they do is clean up the ribs, the other patients, and bore holes through them, and put them on a string at the end of the bed. And when they'd go by, they'd give it a little tap, and it would go like clink, 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 clink. It was like chimes, man.
Bone chimes.
But they were tough guys. And
didn't Tennessee Ernie Ford do a song about that place, that Kingston Mine?
Could be.
You got 16 tons, what do you get? Another day older?
It
was a town in Illinois, 600 people.
Yeah.
There was no, if you wanted meat, there was only a general store, a dry goods store. If you wanted meat, you had to go shoot a squirrel or trap a rabbit. Or
shoot a squirrel or trap a rabbit.
Yeah, you'd see guys.
Well, those squirrels aren't that meaty either.
You'd see guys walking around with hair, rabbit hair all over their chin.
How old was your dad when he passed on?
About 90.
Oh. You're kidding. He made it till 90? That's incredible.
Yeah, he got out and he was doing his time outside of Denver in a place called Wheat Ridge, in Wheat Ridge, Colorado.
Yeah.
At the Lutheran Sanitarium.
Is that where he grew up, or Chicago?
No, that's, I grew up in Chicago. That's where he was, he had his TB. They said it would be about a year, but 13, 14 years later, he got out of the hospital, so he had to...
Yeah.
Remember TB, in the 1800s, they used to call it consumption.
Consumption, that's right.
Geez.
Yeah.
Denver's the place that pioneers
the high altitude.
The hospital.
Yeah, it was the idea of dry air or something like that.
Yeah, they'd put him outside in the bed.
Right. Yeah, summertime.
Snow time?
No, summertime.
Yeah, anytime. Anytime.
Anytime's good enough.
There's that high altitude up there.
Remember the courthouse there in Denver, the Capitol building? Right there it says 5280. Is that what the mile is? Mile above sea level?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, yeah.
You've seen it right there on the steps.
Yeah,
Did you ever play Denver, Don?
Yeah. I played the Crossroads Cafe.
They had a big steak and stuff like that.
You can just put that down here.
Okay,
Hillary's our wonderful waitress at Marco's.
At Marco's Italian, we'll repeat that. Thank you for the coffee.
I didn't know if you wanted to say that.
I call you Cheery Ben. You always have a wonderful disposition.
It's because I'm on the clock. I have to.
You mean you're not
you shouldn't say it that way.
No,
you just say, no, that's my natural disposition.
It sounds a sitcom sound.
this whole thing would break
That
up.
was 5,000 a week,
Everyone's
easy.
landlord.
Yeah, that's right.
But the PR,
Everybody in show business have been, want to go in.
Got a script.
End up in.
Yeah.
It just developed as an atmosphere. It's a sunny day in Hollywood where dreams can materialize right before you.
I agree.
every day I walk out, I want to say, hello, LA, city of big dreams, let's get cracking.
Yep. Give Harry Northup a call. He's ready for an audition.
You came out from the Midwest. You were nothing. Where you walked out here practically. You lived in hovels, and now look at you. You're a master of Scorsese and
Did you read that guy John
Silence
Logan in the
of the
paper today
Lambs,
talking
Scorsese.
about him? He said it's thrilling to be in the room with Scorsese. He said he inspires everybody around him. That's the way a good director is. Right?
That's my job yet. He'll say it until he gets a job.
Is Martin watching
Harry's
this
job is
YouTube? Because if he is, he's going to book
You know what
Harry
he does?
Northup.
No, you know what he does? He has a guy that writes down his TV shows and records them for him, puts them up.
Oh, it's beautiful out here. It's heaven out here, really. There's 3 friends of mine who from the East Coast, but they're not outside. Inside.
Yeah, they're inside. Yeah,
This guy
with coats on.
inside, he was too close to the door. The door was open. So he was getting a little air.
Yeah.
He was getting detached from New York. He wanted more suffering. Sun, beautiful. Could you ask for a better day?
They come all over from all over America to see you, Mr. Don Sherman.
That's true. That's
Were
true.
you always popular? Did people always come to you?
Yes, most of them had a badge and a warrant.
Ripping your clothes off for
I have to have a warrant. I learned the first word I learned was warrant.
Don,
Teach
let
him.
me in.
They teach the kid the word warrant. Anybody next to the door, warrant. Say Warren. What good little boy.
Did you ever tell him this?
Warren.
Did you ever tell him this? Somebody knocks on the door and it's a cop. He says, I want to come in and search your place. And you say, where's your search warrant? And they say, we don't have a search warrant. You say, you have to have a search warrant. Why? Because I read in the paper. And he said, that's the matter with you hippies. You read too much.
That's right.
You got to have a search warrant. Don't let him in the house without a search warrant.
You shouldn't, but go try and stop him.
Well, he's also known as William Kunstler Northup.
Oh, you know, I once did a joke about Hitler. They find out Hitler's still alive, and they arrest him. They indict him in the world court, and they hold a trial in Israel. And his defense lawyer is the guy you mentioned,
William Kunstler.
Kunstler. David mentioned.
And Kunstler comes out and says, first of all, the man says he's sorry. He's doing well on arts and crafts. And one guy came over, a kid, I thought he was going to rip my head off. He was so incensed that I used Kunstler. He was a real crusading attorney.
Oh, yeah.
People took him very, very seriously. And I lightheartedly needed a lawyer. Could have been any one of a number of lawyers, but Kunstler was popular, so I used that name. Not realizing how I was defaming a great man, and he was a great man.
You didn't
yeah,
do it on
yeah.
purpose.
No, I didn't do it on purpose.
He was our freedom fighter.
Yeah.
I only stole one book from a library. I'm ashamed to admit, when I left my little town, I went to the Carnegie Library, and I wanted to be a lawyer when I was in high school because I won all these speech contests, and I checked out Clarence Darrow for the defense. He was in Chicago when he first went there, and I never returned that book. So, Sydney, Nebraska Library, I apologize to you for stealing that book.
Well, you can mail it back.
No, he picked the side of the law. He went to fight a lawyer. Law couldn't work out. He was a crook.
Remember Clarence Darrow
He wanted to
talked?
be in the business.
He went to Chicago from a little town. He said, I looked at all the faces like going to New York. He never saw one person he knew in a big city. Did you do that when you walked around Chicago, all these people? But you grew up there, so you knew people.
Well, yeah. Well, I was in the projects there, so.
The project sound anyway, but yours is especially famous.
Oh yeah.
What was the name of that? Downey Green?
Cabrini Green. Cabrini Green. Yeah.
You know what I always say when I see a guy from Chicago? Big money, Chicago roll. Carl Dreiser, he was from there.
I'm an exception to the rule.
Was David Mamet from Chicago?
Little money. Well, he's from the East, but I met him in Chicago. where they did some at the
Hemingway, he was from Oak Park.
regional theater there. They started doing some of his
Oak
plays.
Park, that's a Jewish neighborhood in Detroit.
Well, it's one near Chicago.
Well,
Oak Park.
Oak Park.
Yeah, there is an
David's
Oak Park.
father was an
Oh,
attorney.
maybe you're right, Don. Oak Park near Detroit.
The whole-
He has all those stories about growing up.
Skokie is where all the big Jewish population is.
Oak Park,
Skokie.
David's whole family is like the Camelot.
I used to
Camelot.
Yeah,
Really?
they're like Camelot. They're all
I used to work at jazz club in
so great.
called the Alamo.
Ah,
And when I showed up the first day for rehearsal, the first day I worked there, there was only one guy in the club. And he was looking at it, he said, "Get the bell, would you change the channel?" And we didn't totally talk a little bit about he was the public part of it. It was only after about an hour or so that somebody remarked that he was blind. He's going to be on all the time, which is to change that channel on that was movie. Fix the color over there. Yeah, that would be crazy.
Yeah, the vertical hold.
That was
You know, the picture's rolling.
No, he's blind. He couldn't see it at the TV at all. You know, he just sat there, looked at the TV.
He just knew it needed adjusting. You
And
know.
he wanted to put the comic on.
I'll tell you something about color TV.
you know what's frightening about being blind? When you get your change back. You know, what do you know? You give them a 10 and
But
Yeah.
you can't get my touch with a bill.
You get a Chinese quarter instead of a silver dollar. But the difference between color and black and white is actually truer. David here is the expert on color, but you walk down any street in LA and you see the color TVs emanating, they're all different colors, right?
Oh, that's
No,
right,
same
yeah.
color TV,
Nobody
the
has the
color.
same setting, yeah.
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 Do you set your TV or is it just leave it the way it is?
I don't know how it works. I can't understand making a phone call, goes to the moon, back, thing. I don't understand that.
Oh yeah, I adjust
There's a little
mine
chip
for
like this, a little chip
my
like
view.
this, and you take the little chip out and everything stops.
Don't take that chip out.
Everything stops.
Get a chip out. Don't take that chip out of that camera,
They took a
David.
chip off your shoulder. They took it all off your shoulder and put it on your watch.
Remember when you're a kid and somebody does something to you don't like and you go like this? Then you do something good, you go like this.
That's right.
Those little kids.
We're always buffing our nails.
sign language.
Sign language, yeah. It's universal.
Kids' frame of mind is nice, right? No contaminant.
How old were you when you left home? I was 17 years old. I left home to join the Navy. How old were you?
Join the Navy. I left home, but not to join the Navy. I just wanted to get downtown.
You never went downtown when you were a kid?
Yeah, but not too often. You know, at 17, 18, I started making a trip on the subway downtown.
Well, how old were you when your parents said, Don, it's time to go out there and get a job?
They never said that. When you had a job contract, 3 years old, I think, 4 years old.
Yep. Well, I was 17 when I moved out.
Job
I was gone.
Well,
Where'd you go?
Got my own place.
In Ben.
I was the same city. I just moved to my own apartment.
What was your first job? Newspaper job? Drawing?
First, yeah. Well, actually, if you go way back, I did deliveries for a delivery company. You know, delivering phone books, flyers, catalogs.
in Canada.
In Canada, I delivered the Sears catalog, the Eaton's catalog,
Third Island.
Victoria. Yeah, what a great job! I made a fortune.
Really?
Yeah, it was unbelievable how much I got paid.
I was 11 years old and I had a newspaper route, and there were old guys lived in the barracks on the base. I would go collect them a week in advance, a quarter, and then on Friday night when they got their checks, they'd be drinking beer, and I'd walk over and I'd say, even though like Mr. Sherman had given me a quarter, like the money before, I'd say, Don, you forgot to pay me. You'll give me another quarter, so I'd collect twice.
You got a quarter.
Story with pride.
He's a proud man.
Speeches about justice, America, represents some of the greatest.
We should run
Contradictory, right? We're all contradictory.
That's right.
I hope some talent agents are watching this right now, because we got a couple of guys that could be booked.
But they say consistency is the sign of somebody who's not too smart or something. We all contradict ourselves. Do you ever contradict yourself, Don?
I don't argue with myself really. I really give myself the benefit of the doubt on most things.
Do you talk to yourself when you're driving?
I talk to myself a lot, too much.
It's good because if you're alone and it makes you feel like there's company.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
When you talk
If
to
you
yourself.
argue-
And also, you can always agree with, you know, what you're saying.
You don't talk to the TV, do you? Don?
No.
My father did.
I talk to the TV
He
sometimes.
was arguing with the TV all the time.
Especially with what's going on now with the GOP, with them
GOP. That's
politics.
The Republicans now. It's been going on always. It's the
it's-
same thing they talk about.
Well, if Newt Gingrich was a politician when I was a little kid, I could have had a job as a janitor in my school.
He's moving up. He's moving up. They got rid of
Oh,
fell out.
yeah, but you know his
Bachman fell out.
oh yeah,
And
Tea
now
Party
Perry
Bachman.
went today. Perry's out to give his votes to
Newt Gingrich.
You know what they should do? They should admit everybody there's no chance of being.
Yeah.
So just cancel.
Save the money.
Cancel the election. Take all that money they're going to spend on the election. Give it to the poor, or hungry, or the deficit, whatever they need money for. If they took all this money, nobody knows. Ain't nobody's that big of. They know there's nobody around.
He's got $1 million for his.
You know what his
At
name
least.
is? His first name?
And they're still asking for more.
Take that money and put it to use and let the guy run another 4 years.
It would have been quite a thing if Kane didn't bow out. If Kane and Obama, two black guys, were running, then there couldn't be.
Well, I thought that would have been entertaining.
The race.
Yeah, that's right.
issue, you know,
Willard
really
Mitt Romney. That's his first name, Willard.
We're gonna have to start calling him Willard. Well, do we have a word of the day?
Yeah, no, but
A word.
word.
Yeah, we need a word of the day so that we can close out our show. And
Well, since we're talking about the Republicans, how about disillusionment?
That's a good one.
disillusionment. Okay.
I was going to say
Disillusionment and that illusionment.
This and that. Okay.
That. Disillusionment is a good word, Harry. Very
So we're gonna say goodbye to
Comanchero. Comanchero. Is that an
commentary.
American word? I think so.
I don't know if it's a word, but anyway, we'll take that. So goodbye to everybody.
Goodbye, David. Goodbye, Jack. Goodbye, Don.